What is crackin', nerds? We are back with another Godot Dev Log. This time, we're showing off my newest creation. This is a 2D action role playing game called Dwarflandia. Now, the name is a placeholder, but it might stick. I'm a fan of it. I think it's a little catchy, so we'll see what happens. Dwarflandia is going to be a fantasy themed role playing game, which means it's going to feature things like swords, magic, dragons, that sort of thing. So, if that's something that interests you, keep on watching. So, let's pop it open, see what we're working with here. So once we boot up our game, you're going to be greeted with that same splash screen we saw in the editor right before this. We're going to have the connect feature over here, which is going to be for multiplayer connections. That's not quite implemented yet, so let's just stick with the local play for now. Now, once we get in, you'll notice that we have our little dwarf guy here. He can move, and his hands and eyes both follow the mouse. Now, the hands are going to be replaced by, if you're holding the weapon, it's going to be the weapon or that sort of thing. But for now, he's just got the hands and the eyes following the mouse. This is going to be useful for not only for seeing where you're looking, but you can also see where other players will be looking, judging by their hands, weapons, eyes, all looking in a direction, as well as the enemies too. So this is going to be a feature that is on more than just the player. It's going to be on everything. So why don't we take a look at the sprite work? There's not too much to show off here. We got a crudely drawn background. This is just one tile that's just repeated many times. Here's where it stops repeating. And then we have our sprite here. Now, all of the sprite work that I do, I actually do it in the program GIMP. I am a big fan of GIMP. It is a free and open source image editing tool. It's usable on all operating systems, and I know I already said this, but I can't stress this enough. It's free. I love free. I love free programs. It's free in price and free as in open source. It's just good. It's just good. It's a good program. Big fan. Now our sprite, our dwarf man, you might recognize him. He looks a little different. This is the one that's used in the loading screen or the startup screen where he has his stationary hands, but he's actually comprised of all his different pieces. He's got his beard, his eyes, belt, all that, all over here. And then here's what his running animation will look like once it's implemented. Although this one's a little ugly, so I do want to tune it up a little bit before we throw it in the game. Um, but yeah, this one sprite is actually comprised of all his individual pieces coming together to form this nice little dwarf, Danny the Dwarf. But that's about all I have to show off for now, but I appreciate you checking it out. If you made it to the end, go ahead and give it a like and tell me your thoughts in the comments below. But until next time, stay nerdy.